The Table is Yours podcast contains content that may not be suitable for some audiences, such as themes of violence, swearing, sexual language, alcohol, and death. We advise you to check the episode description for any other specific content warnings. Please, if any sequences or episodes are ever triggering or uncomfortable in any way, we ask you to take a pause from the episode or skip it entirely. It is important that our table is a safe space for everyone, including you.
The Table is Yours podcast is a role-playing adventure show where a bunch of friends around a table and through video call play tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons. Together, we hope to bring the joy and fun of our game to you, wherever you are, as if you're part of our table. For when you're sitting, creating, and playing with us, the table is yours.
Hello, and welcome to The Table is Yours, a role-playing adventure show where a bunch of friends sit around a table usually, or through video call, to play TTRPGs like Dungeons & Dragons. I am Con Riley, your professor. I am your GM, your DM, your best friend. My pronouns are they, them. You can follow me anywhere at Kryles.
Fun factless friends?
Yeah, okay, yeah. We're being fun factless today. Everyone in the comments say they hate us, they hate Vic's facts, and we're not gonna
deserve facts.
We're not gonna single out Vic. That would be horrible if we singled out Vic for the reason why we're not doing a fun fact today. So we're just not gonna single out Vic today. But we're not gonna do any fun facts.
And it's not because it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Hi, I'm Vic. I play resident rat boy Terrence Astanis, who became less ratty and is now slowly becoming more ratty again. He's relapsing. I guess that's all I have to say then. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me at Vic_Gene_ on Instagram, and other places with a similar adjacent name. Thanks, bye.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I play a Wash. Her pronouns are he, him. Next.
Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm next. I play Codex Story. Wild Magic Sorcerer, Rune Knight, Fighter, both of our pronouns are she, her.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I play Isabella Ballador, Tiefling Paladin, Bard of the group. Our pronouns are she, her.
Hi, I'm Jake. I play Finley, Fearbolg Druid. He's the he to my him.
Of course, you can follow us anywhere at TTIYDND on all social media. That's on Twitter/X, whatever you call it nowadays. Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Patreon. Support us on Patreon. We have cool things out there for you, and it supports the show and lets us make cool content for you. But yeah, with that, if there are no questions, concerns, fun facts, or anything else, let us get into the recap of what happened last episode of The Table is Yours. What story shall be sung today? One can never know how the melody might sound. Our adventurers have already begun to pluck the strings of their story, and their combined composition is unfolding like a road before us.
So, the year off was calm for all of us, but of course, it was only the calm before the storm. So, let me catch you up on how this storm happened. Shay, Finley, and Ishnalia found Dogma, Yelena, and Howl in the grove, and went to where Ish and Shay's mom died, as Team Dogma explained more about what they discovered about the Larakai druids during the year and some. They got to where Shay's mom died, and found a soot-covered area with a dark gray tree that looked wilted. Basically, the grove team, as we'll call them, put together that the area was not only where Shay's mom died, but also not far off from where the Larakai's druidic lands were. But Ish confirmed that they were more than likely destroyed by the beast of the grove. Just then, the green-haired woman from the beautification committee, Hela, appeared and was acting strange. Cut to the Red Raven Adventuring Guild, where Sham and Maud told Codex, Wash, and Issa that Fiara wanted to speak to them. Apparently, Arathia was back from being missing, and the Modders had Miss Alona, a double agent for Arathia that worked under Seraphima, locked up at Panworks to interrogate. The issue was that she knew that Darian, as Scarlet, became the new bull of the Naramont Society, and if Arathia figured that out, it would spell bad news for our entire uncovering the corruptness of Zobraria plan. As Sham attempted to fix that, Fiara tasked the three Fated Fates to help her with a separate problem, asking who would be the fastest to dodge the beast of the wilds. As for me, I was working with Ezra and Helluwana to give new skills to V2 for tactical advantages. Then Aster, my old friend who all but made me able to make my serums, and also a member of the beautification committee, knocked on my door. Ezra hid and Helluwana left as Aster caught up with me by saying a ton of suspicious things about Seraphima and Connie's passing, stuff about wishing things were different, the miracle of all the people coming back to life, stuff about her sisters and brother and mom, as well as asking for tea. She left after giving me more ingredients for the serums, and then me and Ezra started to speculate about what the fuck was up with her, eventually leading me to remember Shay's vision of not only the bloody-handed person we assumed was Dark Fury, but also the 3 beasts. One with long claws, one with vines, and one with what? You guessed it, a teacup. I could be wrong, but it all adds up to Aster and the others in the committee being the beasts, I think. But no time for that, because suddenly all 3 sectors of Zobraria were being overrun by bloody dogs. Luckily, each group of us had someone to teleport us out as we fought off the dogs. And ta-da, the Fated Fates were reunited in the Pale White Castle Keep yet again. I told everyone about my teacup theory as we discussed other theories, before we came to the conclusion that this must have had something to do with not only Dark Fury and the beasts, and maybe their mom, based off of what Asta said and the blood wishes, but the only person we could trust with that kind of info on the blood wishes was Balthazar de Marta, so Fiara said we should call him. But I think we should circle back to me talking about the beast theory.
Alrighty, so I think when Fiara's like, we should contact Balthazar, she's probably going to like step out with a sending stone. Casimir will like go to follow as she walks out and somewhere to go around your keep. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys. Terrence, are you still freaking out?
He's not, I don't think he's freaking out now that he's kind of said it all out loud. He's probably just like sitting in thought. Like he's like, I'm trying to dissect what I've just said and like put the pieces together.
Ezra has swaddled Terrence in a blanket and is just like holding that like cocoon of Terrence and is like, it's okay. It's okay.
So, can I, what's this teacup business? Because did you guys tell, I don't think you guys told Dogma everything.
No, I think, yeah, Terrence again was just spouting nonsense.
I know we haven't like talked a lot about like all the things you guys know, but now probably as like Dogma's like just like pressing his fingers together would be a good time to like let us know.
He like takes a deep breath, slicks back his hair, and like that's probably like kind of like frizzed out, and he's like, okay. As you know, there is the beast of the wilds. There's also the beast
the potential
bird.
of other two, or the other two.
There's the potential of the other two.
I think what Dogma, Yelena, and Hal don't know is they don't know the big details. Like, they probably know that Shay saw silhouettes, and they know these diamonds had gods around them. But they don't know, like... I don't know if you guys told them anything about what happened to Seraphima, other than she was evil, just trust us. Like, they don't know, and they don't know the plan of taking this, like, Zaharis, the Fair Father, out, or any of that.
Well, consider them told.
Yeah, that seems like a not thing to tell. Mm-hmm. Specifically Dogma. Let's just not tell Dogma most of that, I think.
I was just gonna explain, like, the Dark Fury Beast connection that we are assuming as of right now. That was kind of what I was gonna lead into. How he worked for Seraphima, but was kind of puppeting the strings, taught her blood magic, kind of. That's, like, something that Balthazar also has connected. And what Shay saw was a vision of them all together that we can assume is Dark Fury, but we don't, again, know 100%. This is all just theories.
Terrence, can you make an intelligence check, please? No, I'm sorry, a wisdom save. A wisdom save.
Wisdom saving throw? That's a 18.
18. You will fail.
What the fuck?
Jesus.
You don't notice anything, and nobody notices anything that's going on until you just kind of watch what looks like that comes out of Terrence's mouth. You watch as it looks like this, like, very familiar looking pink electricity kind of comes out of your tongue and hits Dogma's temple as you're like, someone just probed into my mind. And you see Dogma is like he looks like oh my god, like
Wait,
he just
did he subtle spell?
Yes, he did.
I thought he was a wizard.
He is a wizard, half.
Terrence, like, looks at him. What did you just do?
Well, I kind of wanted to know all the things you weren't saying, and now I know a lot.
Hey, dude.
Why the fuck would you do that? I was gonna tell you the truth.
Fucking ask before you do shit like that.
Yeah, the circle of trust, that's not really gonna fly.
Well, what are we gonna do? Fight Codex's brother?
Hey, Codex, can I hit your brother real quick?
Not if I beat you to it. Dogma, what the fuck? We're not telling you things because we're trying to keep you safe.
No. You don't get to just not tell us all the things that you were completely skipping over, Terrence, during the entire conversation.
What are you... Dogma, what the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck is this about putting the god of the sun away?
You could have just asked.
I did. I asked you to tell me everything.
1 minute, 37 seconds, flashback.
I don't think you guys told Dogma everything.
No.
I know we haven't, talked a lot about, all the things you guys know, but now would be a good time to, let us know. And they don't know the plan of taking this, Zaharis out or any of that.
Probably.
Yeah, that seems like a not thing to tell. Specifically Dogma.
I was just gonna explain, the Dark Fury Beast connection.
End of flashback.
Whatever.
Well, we were trying to keep you safe, but I guess,
I don't need anybody to keep me safe if they're not going to be honest with me. I didn't hide anything when I told you all the stuff that we found out. So do we trust? And he's pointing at Casimir.
They haven't stabbed us in the back or cast things on us without our permission, so maybe.
I'm sorry, are you taking a tone with me?
Yes.
Because you lied to me?
I'm allowed to, you piece of shit.
So you're allowed to lie to me, but I'm not allowed to.
Everyone's allowed to lie to anyone.
But then there's also consequences.
Don't pretend you're on the high ground.
He'll give you a look, Codex, at he's not looking for you to respond to it, but he'll give you a look just of this guy.
She is going to walk forward and grab him by the arm and be like,
he's going to push you off if you try to grab him.
We're talking outside, Dogma.
You're not going to tell me what to do.
I'm not telling you what to do, I'm asking you in a very direct way.
No, you just said we're going to. If you want to ask me, you can say
Dogma,
we can or we
I'm
can't.
serious. Can we please talk outside?
I don't want to. I don't trust you.
She gets this look.
No, you put all of our families in danger because of you and your choices. I'm leaving. And he just walks out. Also with Detect Thoughts, it's not it just, Detect Thoughts. It's not like Dogma saw your entire history. He saw all things he was looking for with diamonds and hexaleaps. So that's what he saw through Terrence's eyes. Not
my whole life.
Yeah. When we went to Totoro, I will say in this recording, I prompted, "Are you telling them everything?" And you guys said no.
Yeah. We did say no.
You did say no?
She just kind of stands there for a minute and then clenches her fists and there's a little bit of static at her fists and then she just kind of looks at everyone. I need a minute and just walks out. She's gonna go out into the courtyard and just stand there and process that.
Yelena and Hal probably exchange a look.
The reason I didn't talk about this Zaharis thing, and I'm looking at Yelena and Hal, is because I still don't fully know what the plan is there. And it's mainly Fiara's plan. So
Yelena kind of just looks to Hal and looks back at you and says, I don't. All we know is what you've told us, which is there are these beasts. There are these diamonds. Now there are these blood dogs. And there's a lot of danger. It isn't a lot to go on. I can admit I understand why he's wanted to know more. I'm not saying that that's the right way of doing it. But you aren't being completely forthright with us. Also, to be fair, Detect Thoughts is no different really than Message. They're about similar spell strengths, and you did use that one a lot on Rush to piss him off in the wilds, if you remember, says Hal. Nor is it very different than disguising yourself with magic. I think everyone here has used magic to lie or understand truths that weren't being told.
I'll tell you. Again, it was just a matter of asking. Fiara wants to expose the corruption of the Burg. There is shit going on, and we all know that. And the way that she wants to do that is by taking Zaharis' power away for a second.
You two have seen it. You've seen how the corruption has gone through the wilds and is getting closer to the Burg every day.
Yeah, Yelena nods.
So by using the last 2 diamonds to wish Zaharis into one, using the second to last one to wish him into one, keeping him in there until we can expose the corruption and take matters into our own hands.
Listen, I'm not hopping on you.
I'm just telling you the truth.
No, we don't all speak for each other.
I'm just telling you what is going on. What he learned from probing into my brain.
Well, we currently have the larger problems of all of this entirety of Zobraria taking over by these carnivorous beasts. I think that's a bit more pressing since there's people dying outside right now.
Helluana probably jumps in and goes, yeah, that doesn't seem too good. Casimir, do you know how long your sister's going to take? And Casimir just kind of shrugs. Okay. Codex, I'm going to go to you.
She probably goes out into the courtyard, realizes that there's a shitload of people in our house, and then it's just I can't be here either. And then she's gonna go up to her room and climb up onto the roof and start hurling rocks again.
Dogma's already up on the roof.
Oh god, she sees him and immediately turns around.
That's fine. Yeah, he's just standing up there and his ears are down. He's probably crying.
She was just gonna go out on the front porch then to watch these fucking dogs.
Probably enough to surround the area you're sitting near, and then they'll probably try to snarl, hit, and then after a couple attempts of trying to get through the barrier, they'll continue dashing somewhere else. As you're kind of sitting there, you do watch as a figure kind of appears outside of the dome. As you see dogs, the dogs that kind of run off to the right, now they're running back to the left towards this dark figure. As you just see they run up and they almost clamber over this figure before this figure just starts smacking them away. And you see as they hit the walls and fall over before they kind of run off in fear. As you see this kind of almost encompassed in it looks like they've encompassed themselves in darkness, lift the barrier up and walk under it as it almost liquid nitrogen gas falls off of them. As you just hear, "You don't look too happy." As you see Balthazar sit next to you. He looks different. His hair is a little bit longer, pulled back into almost this kind of bun at the back. He has a full beard. Well, not full beard. He has a more defined mustache, and I'd say the chin part of the beard is a little lighter than the mustache. He kind of stands up and says, "I will let you know that sitting down and staying angry will only lead you to..." It's he's about to say a word and he decides a different word he's gonna say.
She does not look like she is in a mood right now.
Oh, I don't know what you expected. He was gonna say regretful.
She knows exactly where he's going with this, and she's like, "You of all people."
What?
Nothing. Go inside. They have teacup information to tell you.
He kind of does that thing where he kind of leans his head down just a little bit just to catch your gaze.
She immediately looks out at the dogs. She just doesn't.
Not even a little pleased to see me. That's so sad. He kind of bites his lower lip.
She just rolls her eyes, and it's she's just go inside. Just go inside.
He doesn't.
Jesus Christ. Fine, if you're not gonna go inside, I'll go inside and find a new fucking place to sit where I can be alone, because there's so many people in our house. And I'm glad they're all here, because they're not getting killed by dogs, but fucking Dogma is on the roof. And that's bullshit. Why is he up there? And she just gets up and goes inside.
Before you go all the way in, Balthazar just goes, "Truly sounding like a hero nowadays, aren't we?"
I swear to God, Balthazar, I swear to all of the gods, please don't.
Don't what?
Listen, I'm glad that whatever the year has done for you has made you this mellow or whatever, but I gotta go. And it just turns and starts to go look for a new place to fucking mope.
He just kind of chuckles and walks in. There's probably a moment where Casimir will turn his head and then leave Issa's room. If anybody tries to follow, he'll say don't. And then probably about 5-10 more minutes, Fiora and Casimir will walk in with Balthazar behind them.
Nice to see you three together again.
I guess so. Fiora says as she looks to Balthazar, "Where's Codex? Where's Dogma?"
They got into a fight, so they're taking a moment to get it together, and then they're coming back.
Balthazar kind of lets out that little laugh. "Well, we might as well just sit and wait." And you watch as they walk over to the door is still open behind them as all three, Kaura, Isray, and Cypress, all walk in after them, and they will sit down and wait for Codex and Dogma.
Hi, good to see you again. Looks like the year was good for you. To speed this up, I'll go find Dogma.
You'll find him up there. When you see Dogma, he's just kind of sitting there. He's not crying. Maybe his eyes look a little puffy, but he's sitting there. He just kind of looks angry.
Hey, do you mind if I sit with you?
Sure.
Things kind of got a little bit intense in there. I was just wondering if you were okay.
No.
You want to talk about it?
My sister's a bitch.
All right.
And now, seeing everything I saw through Terrence's, it's like she does this often. She keeps these secrets from people that get them in trouble. Because she did it with Balthazar, she did it with Kessak, everything I saw through Terrence's eyes. That, in my opinion, if she said something earlier, maybe wouldn't have caused him any problems.
I get where you could see that from.
Because it just shows that she has no trust in her own family, which is kind of shitty.
I can see where you would feel that way from. I had 4 siblings. And they died not knowing why. So I can understand why you're upset if you're in danger and you don't get to know why.
Like, I get holding secrets to an extent, but not from people you trust. So, if A plus B equals C here, I don't think it's adding up. I mean, how much do, not just even her, but how much do the rest of you keep from each other in your little group? Are there anything she's hidden from you or anyone else has hidden from you that has been shitty in the end? Because I'm sure there has been.
I know everyone has their fair share of personal secrets. I don't know, I think this is kind of a larger thing. So I think everybody that's involved should get to know.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you think being so hasty about it was the right way to do it?
I don't know. But to be honest, I don't think she and I are that different. But she's just the first one to call me out on it, and no one seems to call her out on it.
She's probably hauling her ass up onto the roof and like just.
You probably hear the last end of that bit.
She's like struggling to get up on the roof. Finley, thank you. Let me deal with it.
All right, I'll leave Cinnamon here just in case. If you want to hold Cinnamon, go for it. He's very warm.
And she just kind of like brushes herself off and like doesn't directly look at Dogma for a little bit. She just kind of like is staring off and then like looks back over at him and she's like, I don't even know what to say to you right now.
Okay, then don't.
No, because we need to figure this out. Because you're involved now, whether we like it or not, whether I like it or not.
Why is it your choice? Because we were going to be involved with you telling us everything or not.
Yes, but I think now, because you know everything, there is a bigger target on your back.
Okay, but maybe it would have been nicer to know beforehand, Codex, so that we could have figured it out. At least dads would know, and I would know, and I wouldn't be walking in here being like, should I have made any of these decisions? Because then we wouldn't even need to be here in the first place.
Dogma, I didn't want you involved in the first place. I didn't want dads involved in the first place.
So you're just going to choose things for me, Codex? Why don't you trust me? Why don't you have faith in me and my decisions? I do in you.
Dogma, I am scared. I am scared to lose you. I am scared to lose Dad and Pops. I am scared to lose all of you. And I know that you guys don't just, like, walk away from shit when shit hits the fan. And I didn't want... It's selfish, but
You didn't tell me we died.
What did you want me to do? Tell you that you died and...
I don't know,
romance
Codex.
you?
I don't know. But at least, like, something. It's supposed to be you and me.
That changed when we started talking about gods, and when people started dying, and when powers beyond anything I could have understood at the time got involved. It all changed. If you don't understand what I'm saying, then you might as well take a fucking look, because you can see how scared I've been over the last 2 years for all of you. I see that
you're scared, Codex. But gods to fucking hells, I don't give a shit about whatever. I give a shit about you, Codex, and us, and your safety, and Dad, and Pops. And listen, I know that you chose to do things, and you did a lot that you didn't necessarily need to do. You know? Like, I could have figured it out. And I'm eternally and forever grateful for all the things that you've done for me. But hell's to it all if you won't let me help you back. And I can't help you back if I have a blindfold on. I'm stronger than you think. I'm more capable than you think. I'm smarter than you think. Just that you are.
I mean, this is about me and you and what you said to me down there.
That I thought you put us in danger?
Yes! Because everything I have been doing, I've been trying to keep you from being in danger. Because
intention does not equal output. I know.
What do you want from me? What do you want me to say to you?
I'm not saying I want something.
No, don't tell me. What the fuck do you want me to do?
Yes, I said it because I was getting angry because I was getting pushed at for wanting to know the things that weren't being told.
You forced your way into someone's mind.
Sorry, I don't care. In this situation, I don't care. If you think that what I did was unfair, and I think of what you did is unfair, then we're even. Because what you did also was unfair. I don't care if you think what you're doing is definitely for sure keeping us safe. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but at this point in time, I think it's not. And maybe there was a threshold in time that you could have started saying stuff to me, which you could have when we were at the fucking banquet, but you didn't.
Because we were at... She just looks so defeated, and she's like, what do you want me to say?
I'm not sitting here to be like, you're wrong, I'm right, or I'm wrong, you're right. I'm not here looking for a winner in this goddamn argument. I'm saying, what I will say is I'm not gonna let anybody come up here and be like, what I did was shitty and therefore blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck. Because I can point out all the fucking shitty things I've seen just through what Terrence saw, that you've all done. I'm allowed to make a shitty choice because I thought it was right. Just like you are, just like everybody else is. So that's not what we're gonna do. That's not fair. Because you can't sit here and tell me right now you have not made shitty choices, or any of your fucking friends in the Fated Fates haven't made shitty choices.
I'm not saying we haven't.
I'm not going to be a scapegoat for everybody's upsetness for what the...
I'm not making you a
Hold
scapegoat.
on. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying I'm not going to be a scapegoat while there's fucking blood dogs running around killing everybody because I did something because I was scared and wanted to know what the fuck was going on. And lo and behold, I was right. There was stuff that was not being told. Big things. And they are big things. And even if Dad and Pops are not directly involved, I am. Because you didn't even tell me the whole conversation that you had. I don't even know. I know Terrence didn't hear it. But you know stuff about the Hex Leap that I don't fucking know.
Fine. Take a look.
That's not what I'm doing.
You can do it. You did it to Terrence without asking.
You know what?
I'm giving you permission, Dogma. Take a look.
Because you don't want to say it?
Because I think you seeing it through my eyes will be much clearer than me explaining it.
Then you have no trust in me.
I'm opening my mind up to you.
I know you're opening up your mind, but I want to hear it from your mouth, Codex, from my sister. From my best friend.
Oh.
I'm saying your words have meaning, your actions have meaning.
I think we're holding up their conversation. And she's gonna, turn and go to Issa's room.
Dogma never comes down.
Like we give a shit.
Probably when she walks back in, she is just stone cold. She just walks in and, stands there with her arms crossed.
Yeah, once Codex comes down, I think about 2 minutes pass, and just Cinnamon walks in.
He let Cinnamon go? Cinnamon would have stayed with him the whole time.
Balthazar kind of stands up. Are we ready to discuss?
Yes.
Okay, what do you want to know? And you'll kind of lean back against one of the walls.
I guess what do you know about what's going on right now, with the dogs and everything?
Well, this is some type of blood ritual magic that we saw when we were in Ponte. They took people, and as I'm sure my sister and brother have told you, they turn people into this, and these are the not fully turned blood beasts is what we call them. But I had no idea they still had more. Not even to downsize it as this many. This is a infestation. So...
Who's they?
If we're taking what happened to you and the theories that everybody has crafted up, I'm assuming the three silhouettes and who we're assuming is Dark Fury. People behind the blood rituals.
You were behind blood rituals.
That is true. I was for a time. I was taught it by Arathia.
How many people would you say it would take to make this many blood beasts?
Is it one body per person?
Well, as I said prior, if you remember in the manor, there isn't some exact science.
Would it be a lot?
It would be much more than the amount of dogs that are out there, yes.
And how long can you store this amount of people, this amount of blood, for a wish like this?
I don't know. The most amount of blood I've ever stored has been the vats.
And that was a lot.
That was about 3 years in the making. Because it's not just getting blood. If I cut your hand right now, I can't make a wish. There's a type of rite that needs to be done. You need a basin or something that has the etchings on them.
All in all, whoever made these blood beasts has been collecting for a while, then.
Would be my assumption, yes.
Well, it seems like Dark Fury's been around for a really long time, so I'm assuming it's him.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me wonder how Arathia had all this information.
Well, she does have a god tied to her, so...
That's true, which is something we'll need to get rid of, but if you want to still go with my sister's plan of getting the next 2 diamonds, we'll need to find out a way to get rid of that god without one.
Do we think getting the diamonds and going through with that plan will help with our current situation? Or should we try to nip this one in the bud before we try other routes? This seems to be a bit more pressing.
Fiara, is about to say something, and Balthazar kind of interjects and says, I can't say how for sure this is, but the one thing that I learned through the research that Arathia gave me, those of the devout, their blood seem to be the best to use. So, the power of the god of the sun somehow has some type of influence. The other thing no one's thinking about, says Casimir, is I doubt that this is just a run-of-the-mill attack. There must be some type of gathering with this as well. I mean, for everything we've ever known, even with what our brother did, there wasn't just killing for killing's sake, it was killing to ascertain more blood. That's what happened in Pompeii, says Fiora.
How long was the time span between the attack on Pompeii with these similar beasts and the ultimate demise?
A day.
Do we think this is a big assault on the Burg as a whole, or Zobraria as a whole, or do we think this is all some sort of spectacle?
I mean, we saw them in the wilds. I don't know what happened with you all in the grove and you two.
Oh, they were there.
Pointing at Ezra and Terrence. But then I assume that it's a larger front of attacks. They do have more blood now, considering the undoing.
Do we think that that's the only goal in this?
Who's to say? Isn't that more terrifying when you don't know their goal? At least I had a goal at hand. Not much else I can say about my stuff, but we need to figure out more of what's going on and who these people are.
Yes, we do.
Do you have any information about where Arathia was this past year?
Last I heard is she went into Merkside.
Any clue what she was doing down there?
So, I hear you all have theories. Maybe we can put something together.
Terrence will kind of go into a less insane description of, like, his experience. He's gonna talk about the three,
Amigas.
The three Amigas. And he's going to acknowledge the plot hole of not understanding how it fits in with Gazania getting her, like, face ripped off. But he thinks that there is some connection between them and the beasts.
So the beautification committee, so that means we still don't know Dark Fury, and we're assuming Dark Fury is the one with the hands, and you watch as Balthazar kind of like has a light bulb moment, and then turns to his brother and sister. You remember seeing that too, don't you? Yes. I would like to mention actually something before the two of you, because Fiora and Balthazar are like, you both remember this, and she goes, yes, and then it's just like this quiet, like, And then Kaz are just like, on the day that Ponte fell, Berengar Bart made that wish I told you about, that more people would live under the light of Zaharis and the Fair Father. When Balthazar took a pike he had from Father's chambers, and threw it at Berengar Bart, and it went through his neck. Suddenly, shadows started to crawl around the pavilion, and it looked like outstretching hands, but it wasn't from Berengar. So, whatever those outstretched hands are at least 300 years old. I don't know if that's any good pertaining information, but at least it was there. And the dogs are around. So, the most that we learned in the groves, says Hal, is there are times of day that you are not allowed outside of villages to prevent from being taken by the vines, almost like a curfew. Most of the villagers try their best to not interact with one another unless they necessarily have to, and that's something that has been happening for about the last 4 years, around the time that the Darkroot Diamond was taken. Other than that, we try to find out a lot of history of the Larakai Druids, their relation to the Hexaleap. And there were rumors that the Larakai had an ally with a very ancient animal. So, mostly confirmed our idea that a Hexaleap was kept at the Larakai village, as well as they had a, I guess, non-god-tied diamond for a while. The point is that them having a diamond, the Larakai Druids, they were more susceptible to being hunted by the vines and bloody hands. The theory is that if the vines and or the bloodied hands ever got a diamond, they wouldn't make a wish, they would just, they're just consuming the raw energy.
So he didn't absorb the energy.
Kind of wish they did, that would be a lot easier.
Which would, I guess, wonder into why they would wish. Well, I mean, if we believe in Hal gestures to Balthazar, but is like a little afraid of him. Balthazar like, well, yes. If the goal is to get more blood for energy, whatever, if they're consuming it, basically, then yeah, it would make sense to use a wish this time to repopulate and re-reap the land, as it were. There was something else as well, though, that we found out, says Yelena. Well, it was more of an assumption. We know that if Dogma and Codex were once this one Hexaleap, the theory was the vines would also somehow consume the energy or eat in a less gracious way of saying, eat the animal. Dogma did have a theory that maybe being half would gain them protection from that. There were a couple times Dogma wished to just kind of run wild and see what would happen, thinking he'd be safe, since the two of you are not whole. Is Dogma still upstairs?
She just shrugs.
I could send Cinnamon to do a quick look if you want.
Yeah, maybe that might be best, just in case.
Alright. He just kind of looks over at Cinnamon and is just like, see if you can find your friend.
Yes, and Min goes up to the roof. No Dogma up there.
Yeah, Issa just is standing up against the opposite wall of Balthazar, but she's casting Sending. Where are you?
I'm in the kitchen.
Okay.
Why? What's going on?
We're talking about Hexaleap stuff, and you know a lot about it. So if you want to come to my room, that'd be great.
I'm good. I'm going to stay here with my dads and make sure they're safe.
I don't respond.
But yeah, that's the most we kind of figured out when we were in the Grove. Still had a bit more research we wanted to do, but Yelena gestures.
Just as a semblance of a game plan, how do we deal with all the fucking dogs? Like, what are we gonna do about the dogs? Because they're raining terror on the public. So I think
the Fate of Fate's gonna be heroes now. Oh, that's a fest.
You know, you could help too.
I could, but I don't really consider you all as allies, so why would I?
I'm gonna go start blasting. Codex is gonna try and leave.
Let's go kick some dogs.
As you guys walk out, though, you do start to hear, like, clattering of armor as you watch the, like, Volgard running past, kind of looking, go that way, this way, find them! The streets look empty other than the Volgards, until at a point, you see Dark Fury behind some of them.
Volgard doing their jobs, except no, they're not.
He wore, I told you, he wore Volgard armor.
I know.
A uniform. So he will be behind a garrison of them, and as the garrison walk by, they probably will, like, some of them will recognize you guys as the Fate of Fates, and probably, like, stop and be like, you could help us, we're looking around, we have the new bull with us.
Oh.
And you watch as Dark Fury walks behind them, the new bull of the full multitude.
Love that. Good for you.
How the fuck do politics work in this city?
Terrence would be like, congratulations, how did that happen?
Well, when you work for almost 2 years under Captain General Ragnar Kolmark, and he puts you as his second in line, and unfortunately passes away.
How'd that happen?
Gesturing to the emptiness of the city now, but it was a disaster. They flooded the 12th. He gave his life, saving people.
How noble.
Yes. Well, as a bull, I do have things I need to do. And you watch, like, as he says that, like, there are, like a huge garrison behind him just protecting him. Would the Fated Fights like to join, or do you have other heroic things you need to get done?
Oh, I'll follow you anywhere, Dark Fury.
All right, so for the next day, probably day and a half, you guys will just, like, kind of, like, go around some of the with, like, garrisons. Dark Fury will not stay long. You guys will kind of, like, go throughout the third just to make sure the third is clean. And it is. There are no dogs. You don't know where they went. It sounds like they killed people, they dragged their bodies, and they left. And there is a lot of death, a lot of missing peoples, all kind of assumed to be dead. From, like, little talkings with any other Volgard that linked up with in these garrisons, they'll talk about how, okay, well, we have to leave because we have to watch, like, basically the not coronation, like, inducting of Dark Fury as the official bull. You guys have an invitation, being people who've been honored by the king before. Whoever stayed in the burg during the skip, you would have been there for Scarlet, Cornetta's, Darian's. Within the next week, like, you guys probably go to the celebration for Dark Fury becoming the new bull of the Full Multitude. Everyone's there, all the bulls. King Gil is there. A lot of, but yeah, he gets inducted. The beautification team is there as well. All the bulls. Pontiff Amnesia is probably there too, if I had to assume. I'm trying to think about any other big important people that you know.
Shay's gonna give an invitation to dinner to the beautification ceremony while they're there. She's gonna invite all three of them to come to the keep for dinner at some point in the future that works for them. Gazanya, Hila, Asta, nice to see you again.
Shay Erebos, Fated Fates, yes. Nice to see you as well, says Aster. Hila just kind of, like, sits down and says, we're glad to see you made it out safe from the Grove. That was horrible.
Yes.
Gazanya just, like, nods.
I was wondering if you three would like to come over to the Pale White Castle Keep for dinner one of these days.
What prompted that?
Well, in all honesty, Hila, you've always been kind to me. Aster, you've always been kind to Terrence. And Gazanya, I would like to know you more as well.
She just nods.
But I think since none of you seem to have anything pressing to do at the moment, we could all use some sort of relaxation and camaraderie in this time. You all know a lot about each part of this city, and I've been to each part of the city, so I'd like to know what you know of it. I honestly just love gathering information, and I think you all have plenty of things that you could share with me.
You're very much like your mother, Shay. And then Hila walks away. Aster kind of does that thing where she does the little fist, and we could potentially meet if that's what you want. We could even do it today if you really, really want.
Tell me what you want.
What you really, really want. I think that's a lovely idea.
Why don't you all meet us? Why don't we actually meet back in the Grove?
That's a rather large place.
It is, but I think Finley will know how to take you. We'll see you in about 2 hours.
See you there.
She kind of smiles and turns. Gazania kind of stands there just staring at you, and then she'll turn and walk.
That was all happening. You said it's next to her parents. She's like, so how's the 8th?
It seems fine. Archbishop Ozzel's kind of acting strange.
How strange?
Just tense. I think it is our duty as the guides of our faith to have an air of calm. Basically, he's having a fucking hissy fit every other day. Is what Elena says.
Oh, okay. Why? Why is he having...
I don't know. He doesn't tell us things anymore. We tried to go tell Nestri about it, but he wouldn't even let us see her, so...
Just let me know how they are. And then she just walks away. Because she doesn't want to get into it.
As you walk away, you do see Dark Fury has also conglomerated over to Arathia and the Beautification Committee.
Terrence is like
All right, so you guys return home. So you guys have about an hour before you have to meet them in the fucking Grove.
So, if you would like to, I'm going to go meet with the Beautification Committee in the Grove in about an hour and a half, and they've invited all of us.
Said yeah, right after they were talking to Arathia and Dark Fury?
Oh, this was before, actually.
Sorry, I don't mean to be eavesdropping, but we have been staying in your house for a week. What's going on? Says Casimir. Fiora and Balthazar poke their heads in.
She is going to the Grove to meet with the Beautification Committee for dinner, and we are all invited.
Is the theory still that you think that they are... We're thinking that these are the 3 other figures with the blood hand one, yes?
I think they might be connected, yes.
If we're assuming that these people are somehow in charge of what's going on with Dark Fury and the blood wishes and the rituals, and the dogs have already gotten a satiation of getting enough blood from the, 3 to 10,000 people that have died within that day? Are we assuming that these people are connected to that as well? Are we still trying to intercept a blood ritual to make a wish to remove Arathia from Kessak?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, because for this entire time, the 3 of us have been talking, points at Casimir and Fiora, and we think that we should also try to get the 1 diamond we believe to be in the Russet Waste.
How do you propose we get into the Russet Waste?
Well, and Casimir kind of interjects before Balthazar, much more confident. He doesn't even look at Balthazar when he interjects, he just interjects. We're just telling you now that the 3 of us, Rush Willow, I know you all haven't really met and talked to Soon a lot, but we're all going to be indisposed for some time. Hopefully a month at tops. Hopefully less than that, could be a week. But we have to try to figure out if we can get into the Russet Waste and see where the diamond is.
Understood.
As the 3 of them kind of nod to you and walk off. All right, so Finley, are you doing what you told me you want to do?
Yeah, Finley's going to go out to a tree in the courtyard, put his hand on it, his ears are going to flick, his tail's going to swish, and then there's going to be a portal that opens in the tree, and he's just going to kind of keep all hands and feet inside the portal at all times. Once you make it to your destination, do not throw up.
Oh, Shay's first one in for sure. She gives you a pat on the back, a pat on the arm, a little squeeze, and goes head first right in.
Oh, actually, just to make sure this is the right place, if I don't end up where Shay is, I'll pop back out and tell you not to go through. And he's going to go in after, while still holding it up.
I will follow.
Finley and Shay do not come back out, so you guys following in, or yes or no?
I rabbit hop through the portal.
Yeah. So, you guys all go through the portal through the tree that Finley makes. Shay, when you come out, you do come out of the tree that Hila was trying to tend to in this kind of soot area, as you see just Hila standing there. And it kind of closes behind you, and your friends are not there.
Hello again.
Surprised you would come that way, but I guess it all works in the end, doesn't it?
I suppose so.
So, what is your goal in coming to speak to the 3 of us? And the other 2 are not there, but she does say the 3 of us.
I don't know. Get to know you 3 more, learn more about what you know. All of that. Like I said, you have always been kind to me. You've always helped me. Asta has always helped Terrence. Though I don't know you that well.
That is true. And at that point, you kind of hear like the open of the portal as you watch the rest of your friends walk out kind of in smaller succession, as you do see kind of like off in the distance in walk Aster and Gazania.
Hello, you two. Is there a reason we wanted to gather here instead?
Well, I thought it just would be a nice place to gather. Such a beautiful tree, don't you think? Says Gila.
Is it?
I do, actually. I think there's beauty in all things. Whether it's green and lush, or whether it's darker.
It's not fully dead. It's just paled and ever casting a shadow on this blight of land.
As she's standing there, grayscale, just like, no shit.
When you and your sister were here, you were discussing your mother's demise, correct?
Yes. And how this looks different then.
Well, it all changed. Eventually, a few years later, after the Hexaleap, the Larakai, and the Diamond were all gone and or used.
Do you know what happened to any and all of those things?
I do.
Can you tell me?
Well, the Larakai were killed. The Diamond was used, and the Hexaleap, I now know, is split. As she, looks at Codex.
Her ears immediately drop and she shrinks.
Who killed the Larakai?
Do you know what I call this tree?
No. What do you call it?
The Tree of Ashalia. She was a lovely fertilizer. She kind of just, traces her fingers up and down the tree.
So this is where you killed her?
Did you just...
She died to become something so beautiful. She just is, admiring this tree and just, stroking the fucking trunk.
Finland's gonna throw up.
What?
You guys just teleported through Shay's mom, basically.
Gross.
Hila, maybe now is not the time to play with food.
I asked you a question.
What was your question?
Is this where you killed her?
Death is just a thing to become something more beautiful, so... In your lacking of understanding, I guess I'd say yes. Aster kind of, lifts up her teacup and says... And she has a teacup now.
Vindication!
Hila, maybe it's best not to play with her food, don't you think?
I thought you all didn't eat.
Food can mean many different things, says Aster.
I mean, I don't really like being referred to as it anyway. I thought we were cool, Aster.
We are.
Then why are we
I think
food?
we're very cool. I mean, you all are, technically. I mean, you're nothing but cattle, really.
But clearly cattle that serves a purpose for you, since we're here.
Sure.
So what is it that you think you can get from us? Aside from nutrition.
Well, for our brother blood, and for us, our insatiable needs. I wouldn't say that you're all necessarily food. I mean, you could have been. Gazania really did you a number, didn't she, Issa? And she kind of Aster pantomimes the trace on the arm. You watch as Gazania's hands kind of outstretched, and you see kshink, as they kind of come out.
That answers my question.
I would like to subtle spell start casting teleportation circle.
You can certainly try. I'll make a roll.
That's a hard one to subtle spell, I think.
Subtle spell removes the need for verbal or somatic, so I don't know if...
There is no somatic teleportation circle. It's verbal material, so that circle is still going to appear beneath you.
I would say hold off for now, personally. It just from
I'm just saying, if we get into combat, it's going to take me 10 rounds to be able to get us out. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I could hold off on completing the circle, if I'm intentionally stopping.
I'll give it to you for fun, but I won't necessarily say you can always do this, but for fun flavor, because this is rule of cool, I'll let you do it, but I might not always let you do it.
Why did you help me?
I mean, why wouldn't I? The thing is, it's so easy to make... What's the best? And she kind of she almost sits down, she's about to sit down, and you watch as Hila smiles. Hila's if I were to give the demeanors of the three of them, Gazania is very she looks like a dog waiting to be let off the leash to run, at you guys, to dart and kill, basically. Hila has this almost this she's fat, she's growing things and fascinating. She has this weird fascination and almost craze, I could kill you, and it's just so beautiful. Where Aster's the most, like, calm. You watch as Aster kind of, like, goes back to sit as she, like, looks to Gila, who then, like, kind of has vines grow out of the soot, and it, like, turns into, like, this chair for, like, Aster to sit, cross her leg, and drink some tea. The best way I can describe it is it's like Zobraria is a large farm. And in this farm, we need to sow the land, grow the crops, and reap them. And she kind of like gestures to grow to Gila, sow to herself, and reap the crops to Gazania. Things we all enjoy doing on our own. And I guess if you count each sector, it's kind of like our own farms for ourselves. But in the grand scheme, all of Zobraria, so that we can satiate our needs and feed our brother and do as our mother asked. A farm at this size is hard to tend to sometimes. But we found out throughout the years it's so easy to just play on the own cruelty of civil folk. I mean, you so easily accepted the mutations to your serums I gave you, and look at the masses of blood that caused. And you wanted to do it fully. Gave you pleasure. I mean, in a way, you can even count Codex and your sibling. You were the downfall of the Larakai. Had that Hexleap not befriended druids and somehow able to keep itself remained on the material plane, they would have had any danger. But they decided to keep a Diamond of the Dawnwood to protect you just in case something happened. And, well, when Dark Fury found you all, I guess they used that diamond to hide you away in these little tiny mortal forms. And then obviously the Demardas are just very hurt little children who will do whatever they can to get their revenge. But the real blight was you destroying our highest ally within the Burg, the Rousseaus. It's a shame.
They destroyed themselves.
Well, you all had a little help with that, didn't you? See, if it wasn't for Chiffon Rousseau all those years ago, then Berengar Bart would have died when Balthazar tried to kill him. But luckily, Chiffon Rousseau was in relations with the supposed-to-be celibate Berengar Bart, but Chiffon Rousseau obviously was in his pocket. And that's why the Rousseaus became so very wealthy throughout all the years of Zobraria, and it wasn't very hard to make them want to lust for more power by giving them the rituals of the blood. So,
if we're gonna keep going with this farm metaphor, what happens when you till this land until it's dry? What's the goal? You kill everyone, you take all the blood, you get the power that you want.
What kind of shepherds would we be if we tilled the land till it was dry?
Something is already running this place dry.
Nothing's being run dry. It's just a bit more rearing in. We've had to release Bernard out to everybody. Sorry, that's just how we refer to our dogs.
I was talking of the corruption.
Oh, the corruption of the people? Who cares about that?
No, of the land.
Oh, the wilds? Well, yes, that's what the Burg does. The Burg pits the wilds as the problem, the wilds pits the Burg as the problem, and the Grove shuts everybody else off. And everybody will give an excuse for why so much death happens. No one bats an eye. Enough blood shed on any side. That's your own doing. Civil folk are just easy to shepherd.
Do you have an end goal to this, or do you just live to eat and satiate yourselves and your brother?
Not necessarily, no. We just do what we think is right to protect our family. Like some of you. How much would you do to make sure the ones you love stay alive? I'm sure that resonates with most of you, as I already know.
Must be an empty life.
No, it's quite joyous.
To just live to live, and to play with your toys.
I think it's a very natural cycle. Just as farmers, tend to their flock. Sometimes there are not bountiful harvests or good mating seasons, but it comes and goes with every farm. This is only just one going.
And how long have you and your family been farmers?
Depends on what you mean. Like this, to this scale? Since Ponte. Beforehand, it was a much simpler time, but that doesn't really matter. Why exactly are we not killing them now, Asta? Says Gila with like this huge smile, and Gazania just like sharpens her like fingers against each other. Doesn't really matter. Let them continue what they're doing, find those other diamonds, and it'll just make them more ripe for the reaping. And then she looks at both of them, and she like shoots you this look to all of you. There is no end goal. It's just the cycle of the farm, and that's what it will continue to be. You've been a little bit of a headache, sure, but nothing we're worried about. If anything, you've made us have to have a more bountiful harvest recently. We could have just left it at Balthasar's try. But then, getting rid of the Russos was a pretty devastating loss, which is why Dark Fury, is now a bullet of all multitude. There's always wars to be had, and fights to be made, lives to be lost.
Your family to feed.
What was the change from simpler times to this? What happened?
Gila kind of like leans in. She says, "Should I tell her, sister, or shall we keep it just between us?" Gazania like sharpens her fingers again, and Aster like looks back to Gila. "You can say it if you wish." "Well, our brother was born of a diamond, and acts as one when he gets enough blood. Every wish that's ever been made from a blood ritual has been fulfilled by Salmex. You see, there was once a tree very similar to the Dawnwood, made of oak, ash, and thorn." And you kind of watch as she points to herself, oak, points at Aster, ash, and Gazania, thorn. "And at the heart of that tree was a diamond made of blood. When the tree was destroyed, out popped us four. We satiated her brother's need for blood and our own... I guess they could call us what? If we were made by Yofet, but then corrupted by the war in her time as a trespasser god, we would be known as what? Demons? Demons, I think. 4 demons left just to run about in Zobraria. But we found a much easier way of making things contained. As Mother would want us to.
And Mother is?
A secret. Let's just say we have a new mother now. That's the best thing that we can say at this time.
Is that what led you from simpler times?
In a way.
That doesn't lead to the understanding of what we know of Gazania. What happened to her?
Gazania sometimes steps out of line. She gets a little too excited. Lost her throat. She almost lost something else after trying to kill Issa, but we've decided to keep you a little longer, all of you, since your exposure to the diamonds and just the powers that have been around all of your adventures have made you that much more... What does Salmex say? And probably like, she says, what does Salmex say? Drinks her tea. Delicious? So are you coming to attack us and meet your inevitable demise now, or would you like to wait until you're... And she kind of looks to Gila, and he goes, ripe enough.
I told you. We're just here to talk.
Okay, is it Arathia? If Arathia was their mom.
We won't be discussing anything about our family.
Right. You just told us 4 out of 5.
We protect our mother at any cost, you bitch, says Gila.
She has a god protecting her. How many people does she need protecting?
You watch as Gazania, like in an instant, comes up to Issa. You watch as like her knife claws go around Issa's neck and pick her up. It does scratch your neck. You're probably bleeding, and she's holding you up, and you just hear her go, "Stop!" And then she'll put you down as Aster just like her spoon on her teacup. Yeah. And you watch too. At this point, you now notice adorned on their clothing, Gazania has those yellow flowers that you saw in the wilds. Aster has the pink dahlia, and then Gila has a flower called Helibarines, which are like these little white bud flowers, probably like at her collar. Dahlia is from a family called the Asterales. That's why they're all named after flowers. But she'll call back Gazania. Gazania will let you go, Issa, and you'll just like kind of fall to the ground. Probably Finley will help you get back up as Gazania just kind of like rushes back to the left of Aster.
You're just gonna let us go?
Salmex will make sure you all stay just as you are. It's funny how much you've all been very helpful towards our farm.
Cool. So we'll be on our way then?
Sure. Let us know if you ever find out where the fossil ivories are, Wash. Oh, sorry, that's right. I know where they are. And I know where your dad is, too. Your mother's gone. She's been gone for a while. But her blood was beautiful.
And where would that be?
Beneath you.
Not my mom.
Well, both, technically, in a way. It's so lovely turning people into beasts. Do you finish your spell by that point?
She's holding her action to set it
Gotcha.
off.
And she's going to walk up pretty close to you. She's shorter than you, but she's going to walk up close to you. Ask her.
Hey guys, I'm gonna roll to
Andrew?
hit.
No, you're Andrew. Codex.
I'm gonna roll to hit.
Codex.
Cool.
No, Codex now.
Do it, Codex!
Does a 16.
No, that won't hit. What are you trying to do?
Wash is just gonna try to fucking swing on her.
You swing on Aster, and you just, like, as it, like, kind of comes in, you just watch as, like, light pours out from the sky and stops you, and your hand kind of, like, gets pulled back, and Aster just kind of goes, "You should know, as long as the sun shines bright, we're unkillable."
Fuck you and fuck your son.
Oh, as soon as Wash tenses up, Codex is setting it off.
And you guys go away. So, you guys are now back in the basement of the Pale White Castle Keep.
As soon as we land in the basement, instant darkness around Shay, and she's just gonna, like, walk up to the bar, but it's just gonna be, like, a cloud of, like, to the courtyard's darkness, just, like, anywhere. Shay's destroying shit. She's destroying whatever she could find in the courtyard to pieces. She's just gonna, like, full unleash, like...
Scream of rage.
Belt. Yeah, it's very, like, Mad Max Fury Road, but, like, louder, probably.
Oh,
very frustration scream, yeah.
The second that Finley hears the scream, he's gonna, like, rush in, like, kind of, like, sidle around and, like, just hug her. And he's just gonna be like, "Let it out. Do it till you can't stand anymore."
She started crying, and it's just like, tears are coming out of her eyes, and I think, like, different sparks of green magical energy and shadows, and, like, all of this stuff is just pouring out of, like, just, like, water falling out of her.
There you go. All of it. Let it all out. Even if it hurts. Even if it hurts me. I'm here.
I would never hurt you, Finley.
I know. But if what's coming out of you right now hurts me even a little bit, I'm a strong, powerful druid. I am a mighty Firbolg.
I think she, like, grips your forearm and just kind of, like, falls down to her knees on the ground. I don't think I have ever felt this helpless before in my life. There's nothing I can do.
Trust me when I tell you I've been there. But even if there's something you can't do alone, I will help you find whatever I can. I will help you do whatever I can. I've been alone in this position before. I don't want that for you. And if you get consumed in whatever dark shadows you find yourself in, I'll be your bright light.
Terrence is gonna go find the Demardas, because they're still here, right? They're just...
Yeah, you guys haven't been gone very long, so they are still here.
Terrence is gonna go find the Demardas.
Yeah, Issa's going with Terrence.
Wash is gonna look at Codex, like, say, "I'll be right back," and he's gonna go off to Silly Simon's to send a message to someone.
Gotcha.
Crazy!
Oh my God,
Will it have a bad smell in it?
Send it to Aster. It says you're a fucking bitch. Codex, what are you doing?
She's sitting down in the basement in the middle of the teleportation circle.
If you are down there, then still you eventually get a sending to your brain from Silly Simon saying, "Hey, it's Wash." Yeah. You hear Dogma saying, "I'm at the door."
She just, like, scrubs her face and, like, gets up and she'll go let Dogma in.
We all need to be honest with each other. Listen, my biggest harumph with everything is that I was actively being lied to, and no one was telling me, and I asked. Don't like what Wash said, that's for sure. And the Fated Fates are not being very honest with each other, from what it seems like in Terrence's head. And this whole time, you didn't tell us anything. Dad has never lied to us. He has told us all those things about being a criminal and everything else so that we would have the foresight to not fuck with the things he told us not to. And that's what I'm trying to say, you know? And, like, you need to trust me. And I you.
Okay.
You know, this time hasn't been easy for me either. I mean, the entire time you've been adventuring, I've had shit go on too. What I'm trying to say is that we all have heavy shit, but, like, I've at least come to you about my stuff.
I asked for space.
It's hard to listen to you when you ask for space when you literally just lie to me, Codex. And to Dad and to Pops. And it gets us killed. They would have not gone to Seraphima's. I just think that just gets to a point where being in the dark about things is less helpful, no matter the danger.
I gave you the chance to look.
It doesn't work like that. It's just omission. The things that I saw from Terrence was when I asked about the diamonds and the hex sleep, the things that he omitted. Because when you think of something and you're omitting something, you're pushing down the thing that you're not going to say. But I want to hear it from you, Codex.
Dogma, why are you here?
Because I wanted to talk to you.
I don't really know what to say, and there's a lot going on, as per usual. I think you already knew, but we just talked to the beautification committee, and we talked to them, and they were really fucking weird and creepy, as per usual, with a lot of the people that we talked to, very casually, and they said a lot of stuff. But, they said that it is our fault that the Larakai died because they got attacked and wish for us to be safe. Among other things.
That's not our fault. It's not. I don't remember being around the Larakai, do you? Just because we are half a Hexleaf does not mean we are the bearers of the sins or whatever choices of the Hexleaf nor the Larakai. All I remember of the past 27 years, actually barely less than that, because I remember from like 4 onwards.
Do you think that we would remember further back if we were not separated?
I don't know, maybe. But I don't know how we would be unseparated. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how we split. So.
I think it was a wish.
Well, then I think only a wish would undo it. Just because we are half of whatever the Hexleap was does not make us the Hexleap.
It makes us half of the Hexleap.
Okay, but it's not Sins of the Father Codex.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to get into it. What we learned about everything with what they said, they were very creepy and weird, and we teleported out. But basically, and she'll just, I don't want to rehash it, but she will tell him basically everything that those freaks said.
The whole time he's like thinking and kind of like just muttering to himself, but not like out loud. He'll just be, and then he's gonna like sit down with a big smile and just like look at you. But Codex, but that means they're beatable.
What?
If you guys do what the Demarters are saying, that means they're beatable.
I mean, yeah.
Right?
If we lock the God of the Sun in a diamond, yeah.
Yeah? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that so crazy?
Because until we do that, they are actively our enemies?
Well, sure, but they've been doing it for 300 years, and I'm assuming that they don't know about the diamond stuff. I mean, about the God... I don't think they know the plan. So then all you gotta do is follow what the Demarters are saying, and then bing bong, they're done. That's a good thing. That's better than nothing. Cows and sheep for the rest of our life. I've always thought together we can get things done, you know? And I still think that.
Okay, thanks for your insight, and I will file that away for the next time. Like I said, you're welcome to stay, and we can talk more about the potential of being hunted for blood sport.
I'm not going to wallow in that. I'm going to focus on the things that I know are positive, and so I'm going to go find Yelena and Hal and see what we can find out about these last diamonds.
Alright, cool.
I love you.
I love you too.
He's going to get up and he's going to walk away. So Issa and Terrence, you guys will find the Demartas with Ezra. Do you want to just like skip over here's everything that literally just happened?
Yeah, Terrence is first gonna go up to Ezra and like grab him by the shirt collar and be like, I was right!
Okay, about what? Teacups?
Teacups!
And then will you guys just relay to the Demartas?
Yeah.
They have like their backpacks on, like they're ready for hiking backpacks. No, just kidding.
I make sure to emphasize the like, as long as the sun's out, no one can touch us. And I'm like, so it seems like we're on the right path.
Fiora grabs Balthazar's collar and says, I told you. And pushes him back, and he's like, okay. Well, that's not good. I mean, it's good, but it's also not good. So we definitely need the diamonds then, yes?
Yes.
And good, that means none of you are going to go behind my back and try to take one of the diamonds by the end, right? Because I did have that fear a little bit.
I don't think any of us are going to do that.
Okay, well, just, in case any of the fated fates want to go against me, I will kill you immediately. Casimir's like, Fiora, calm down. She will, though.
I mean, especially for what we just learned, I don't want them around any more than you do, so...
So Gazonia is the beast of the wilds. I mean, they sound more like witches, really. Witches of the wilds, the berg, and the grove.
They call themselves demons, so...
I mean, most demons were celestial, well, not celestial, but god-made beings during the war, so makes sense. So, from that instance, that means all the blood is being stored underneath Dawnfall, says Casimir. So are you going to go back to go find them?
Thought we'd take like maybe a break, because
well, I'm not saying immediately, but
yeah, no, we're just because Shay was pretty heated, understandably, and then Wash got pretty heated, understandably, and then I got stabbed. So there was like a lot.
Did you say something you shouldn't have?
Just pushed some boundaries. They wouldn't tell us who their mom was, and they were very particular. Like as soon as she mentioned Arathia, they were like, "We don't talk about who our mom is." It felt like pretty much Arathia is their mom.
Balthazar's like, they also said new mother, so Who knows how many mothers they've had before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lucky. We only had the one. Fiora, like, looks at Balthazar like, what the fuck? And Balthazar's like...
Our next step can be going down to Merkside and seeing what we can find down there. Getting closer to the underside of the Downwood, which is, they said, below us, so...
Balthazar says, so you want our help?
Can you help us?
I could.
Then yeah.
Do you want it, Isabella? Would you like the help of me, Balthazar Tomato?
I would like help figuring this situation out, and if you can help figure the situation out, then yes.
If only we were better allies, maybe I'd think about it. But unfortunately, we do have to get to the Russet Waste. We're meeting Rush and Willow, and soon. Casimir looks at, like, Balthazar, just with that slow turn of the head and up to Balthazar. Can you please stop trying to just be a total ass every 5 seconds? Sorry. We do have to go, though. So, Fiara just like, drags them away. Let's go to a cheery little situation as Wash makes his way to the silent marketplace. Near closing time. It's 8 p.m., so it's almost closing time.
I want very angry Wash to go to Silly Simon.
Yeah, seething adult man talking to goofy cat.
You walk in as, like, it's a lesser crowd as you walk in. Still that kind of like blue, sparkly, like, fabric everywhere as you see this almost leopard print tabaxi in a large blue and purpley hat and blue cloak. He goes, oh, hi! We're about to close, but I could probably still send something out if you need it. Luckily, send-in hours are all hours, just not Silly Simon's telesending, because obviously I have a time of which I work, and I should be closed actually now, but I've been a little bit open a little later. Might cost you a little bit, though, if that's okay.
I guess that's fine. I need 2 messages to separate people.
Okay, I cast send it, not message.
Well, yeah, that works.
Okay.
Two people.
2 people.
First, can you send... what do I need to give you for you to send people? I don't know.
I need the person's name.
Okay.
If you know what precinct they live in, that's helpful.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you just don't know the person, if it's just somebody you kind of know, just give me enough to, like, description-wise for me to kind of, like, feel out in the ether and find them with my senses.
You sent it to the wrong person.
Yeah.
It smells weird. Tastes like garlic.
It's a white man.
White man.
No.
So, can you send this message? What I'm going to say eventually.
Yes. Yeah.
A person named Durand from Precinct 3, I think. Tell him I need to cash in a favor and meet me tomorrow at the Bloodied Mug.
Okay, meet tomorrow at the Bloody Mug. That's got it. And then, would you like the XXX option?
No, I'm
it comes
okay.
with, like, there's a, like, I can, like, get a silhouette of, you just gotta take all your clothes off. I'll get a silhouette of you, and it'll look kind of like, you know those women on the back of the carriage bumper stickers where they're, like, laying down, and it's, like, in neon. I can do that of you if you want.
No, that's
and
fine.
I can pop up right in front of Durin, just hope that he's not around anybody, because if we see all your silhouette, that'd be
it's fine.
fine.
Don't worry about that.
Okay, so not the XXX option. Do you want the option that feels like a kiss on a cheek?
No,
Whichever cheek you want.
I think both of us would be fine without that.
Okay, what kind of flavor you want then? You guys see the board, he's just like moving the board above him.
Do I need something?
Yeah, it's fun.
Make it smell like cigarettes then.
Okay, sure. I mean, yeah,
Cool.
we have the Cigarette Anonymous.
Yeah, Cigarette Anonymous, I guess.
Would you like to include a free cigarette for him?
Nope.
Well, it's free for him, but it costs you.
No, he doesn't smoke.
Why would you want to give him a cigarette then?
Because I smell like cigarettes, he'll get the idea.
Oh, that gets him all riled up.
Sure.
Okay. Now just say it into here. Into this mysterious dark black hole. Just say all the words.
Hey, Durin, this is Wash. I need to cash in a favor. Meet me tomorrow at the Bloodied Mug. Did you get that?
Sam! It's been said. All right, that's message number 1. I've already tallying up the total. Do you know what the total's at so far?
Yeah.
Okay, I did it at a discount. I'll give you a 101 because I don't want any secondhand smoke illegally stuff coming at. So 101 was that, Matt?
All right. God damn, you're gonna bleed me dry. Second message, sending whatever the fuck it is.
Second verse, same as the first?
No.
A little bit louder, a little bit worse.
The person's name is Clea.
Clea, okay.
Wash is going to describe what she looks like. Tell her I need to talk with her for an exchange of some sort.
Talk with her for exchange of some sort.
It'll be worthwhile.
Do you want it to be the whisper message? There's a lot of shh. Okay. Just whisper it into this little hole, this black, mysterious, tiny hole.
This is Wash. I need to meet with you for an exchange of information. It will be worth it for you.
This is Wash. Like repeats it all. And then you watch as like 4 little like mephits appear. They're like little tiny like flying things. And he has them whisper it into it. And they're all just like, this is Wash. And it's like, it just sounds like a cacophony of whispering the same message. Sit. All right, that'll be 202 in total. I just did it same amount.
Wash fully empties his pockets.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming to Silly Simon's Telescendant. Here's a little coin voucher for you to say that you've been here once before. It'll help you get one space ahead in line.
Cool, thanks.
Wait, also you need these 2 coins. The one that smells like cigarettes is the one for the response from your friend, and the one that looks like a big mouth going, that's the one for the whisper.
Right. He puts the 2 important ones in his left pocket and holds the not important one in his hand.
No, that's very important.
Cool, I'll keep this and will not lose it. All right?
All right. Well, thank you for coming in. Goodbye. I'm closing now.
Bye. As soon as Wash walks outside, he drops the coin in the trash.
You drop it and you feel something in your pocket as it's in your pocket.
You can't get rid of it.
Are you guys returning to the tap room?
Yeah. Can we play Never Have I Ever?
Yes.
Sure.
And that's where we're going to end today's session.
End of Chapter 4, The Power of Blood. The Fated Fates will return April 10th, 2024. The Table is Yours releases episodes in video and podcast format every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. You can follow The Table is Yours everywhere by the handle @TTIYDND. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you at the table next time.